You want some advice? Here's the Rock's advice. Shut your mouth. What you want? What you want? How about what the Rock wants? The Rock wants you to go out there, take no prisoners, have no regrets, have no fear. Lay it all out on the line.
Nobody's gonna pay to watch a timid little British girl wrestle.
Yeah, well, not all British girls are timid. Just like not all Americans are arrogant wankers.
No one deserves this more than Zach. Why didn't you pick him? If he's not going, neither am I.
You should come tonight. It'll be really fun.
We don't like wrestling.
How do you know if you've never been?
I've never had rectal bleeding before, but I'm pretty sure I'm not a fan of that.
How about I shove her head up your ass and then we can find out?
It's what you've always wanted.
Yeah? Or is it what you've always wanted?
What do you mean?
Mom, you name me after your own ring name.
2019 has been a great year for movie lovers with blockbuster releases like Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Joker, The Irishman, Avengers Endgame, Us, and many more. And so, you will be forgiven if a few underrated gems slipped under your radar. Today we count down the top 5 movies of 2019 that you probably haven't watched, along with 3 honorable mentions at the end. We start with Alex Ross Perry's character study of a punk rocker called Becky Something in Her Smell, featuring Elizabeth Moss in a career-best performance.
Promise me, Mama, when I die, have the coffin arrive half an hour late and on the side written in gold letters are the words, "Sorry for the delay."
It's not your typical run-of-the-mill generic musical biography like Rocketman or Bohemian Rhapsody, but instead delves much deeper into the psyche of a self-destructive musician in the throes of addiction.
What's that?
You're a mess.
You're a mess. No, you're a mess.
Over the course of 5 extended scenes, we see Becky slowly falling further and further into the abyss, mistreating her child, performing arcane rituals after being conned by a fake shaman, verbally and physically abusing her peers, and finally succumbing to a violent breakdown on stage.
And I watched myself being born. And you know what? That's why I'm leaving, because when I needed it, nobody ever put a hand on my back and told me it was going to be all right.
Her Smell takes the much exploited and glorified troubled rockstar trope and reinvents the genre completely. Fans of music and Elizabeth Moss really need to see this movie.
I'm working. And you said Tuesday, not Friday, which how am I supposed to keep track if you're just going to keep changing your mind?
Next in the list is another refreshing take on a familiar story. Vox Lux charts the journey of a 13-year-old girl who refuses to be a victim of a shooting incident in high school and instead uses it to carve her way into stardom.
It's fine. If it works, great. If not, that's okay too.
In the first 2 parts of the movie, we find out how young Celeste Montgomery is catapulted to overnight fame and how she deals with it. The latter part of the movie presents Celeste as a jaded and paranoid individual plagued by scandals, alcohol, and substance abuse.
You did so badly by me, why would I expect you to do right by her?
It is a scathing commentary on today's culture of capitalism where talent isn't a necessity. Natalie Portman effortlessly alternates between a diva with obnoxious behavior and a vulnerable woman suffering from imposter syndrome.
What do you want me to do? You want me to scream it from the rooftops? I'm not ready for you to grow up, okay? You're my little girl.
Supporting roles by Raffi Cassidy, Jude Law, and Stacey Martin, as well as Willem Dafoe's inimitable narration, adds depth to the film.
I don't mean literally. Sometimes you just get kicked while you're down.
On the third spot, we have Velvet Buzzsaw. It begins as a roast of the contemporary art world with conniving dealers, self-absorbed artists, and especially critics who the director believes are narcissistic and agenda-driven.
Critique is so limiting and emotionally draining. An artist toiling in the recesses discovered in death. I want to start researching immediately.
The movie embraces all genre tropes associated with cheesy urban comedy, that is until it decides to subvert them entirely. The second half is where things go awry, with a deceased painter's work suddenly coming to life and haunting everyone who ever profited from the artist's work. What I liked was the horror aspect of the film was not over the top, but instead very subtle. As he often is, Jake Gyllenhaal is the star of the show as a critic who is so passionate about his work that he never stops evaluating everything around him, even things like the features of a casket at a funeral.
His altered mental state, tortured soul, phases of the goddamn moon, I don't know how. These deaths, the disappearance, everything that is now happening, it's all connected to his art.
Now I love IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, but their ratings don't do this movie justice.
I still consider you a friend, Josephina.
Go fuck yourself and lose my number!
The second spot in this list is occupied by Paddleton, a mature drama that tells the story of two friends Michael and Andy whose lives are turned upside down when one of them is diagnosed with terminal cancer. Together they embark on a road trip to buy prescription drugs that would enable him to end his life. Paddleton stars Mark Duplass as the terminally ill Michael Thompson, who hides behind a veneer of composure but is terrified within. Ray Romano plays his friend and neighbor Andy Freeman in one of the finest performances of his career yet.
I'm the dying guy! I'm the other guy!
Paddleton is filled with poignant moments that feel natural and not manufactured or melodramatic at all. There are awkward incidents, bad jokes, brief pauses and vulnerable moments, things that we have all shared with our close mates. Despite working towards an inevitable conclusion, the film ends on a high and you end up with a smile on your face when the end credits roll in.
You can't give up, right? Miracles happen, right? What about the guys who say, oh, you got 6 months to live, and next thing you know, he's climbing Mount Everest.
And finally, to top our list, we have a film that is truly bizarre. In Ready or Not, Samara Weaving plays Grace, who marries into a wealthy family with no idea of how insane things are going to get.
I will play the shit out of checkers. I'm really good at it.
Things quickly go downhill from there as she is made to pick out a card that determines what game she is forced to play with her in-laws. But of course she picks out the wrong card and now her new family races against time to kill her in order to maintain their pact with the devil. If all this sounds crazy, it's because it actually is.
It doesn't make sense.
And as she navigates the plot twists and turns, Samara Weaving appears as astonished as we were while watching the movie.
You little fucker!
It's got madness, bloodfest, comedy weaved with social commentary, and a heroine who kicks ass.
I'm really sorry. I don't want to die.
Neither did I, you selfish fuck.
Look out, Uma Thurman. We think there is a new bride in town.
I want a divorce.
Let's finish the video with 3 other honorable mentions. The report features Adam Driver as an idealistic Senate staffer tasked by his boss to lead an investigation into the CIA's post 9/11 detention and interrogation program, who uncovers shocking secrets. In second place, we have Marriage Story starring Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver as a married couple struggling through a divorce while getting pushed to their extremes. It is one of Scarlett Johansson's finest performances yet. And finally, we would like to end the video by mentioning Sony, a movie that details the stories of the eponymous Sony and her boss Kalpana in today's Indian society where misogyny and casual sexism is the norm and not the exception. So I guess that wraps it up. What do you guys think? Did I miss any that you think should be on the list? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Click on the little bell icon to be notified whenever a new one comes out. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. I'll see you guys next time.